A very good morning, children. Hope you're all fine and hope you're all aware of the new lesson, that is the Kabuliwalah, which we started yesterday. If you have not seen the video, please check the video of yesterday's and watch it again, which will be in your group. So let me tell you the gist of the story. There was a girl called as Minnie. Okay, her father was a novelist. He writes the novels, and this girl is a chatty girl who always keeps on talking and talking and talking. She never wastes a single second without talking. Her mother always scolds her not to talk, but father, he wants to hear her voice every time. He really feels very odd if she doesn't talk. Okay, so she always he wants her to be a chatterbox and always keeps chatting and all. So every day, she comes to the place where he is working. So she talks to him, and one day a Kabuliwala was going by that side selling some raisins and apricots and all. So she called him from the window, and when the Kabuliwala turned back and smiled and was coming inside, then she rushed into the house and she did not come out. So as Kabuliwala came, so father could not do anything, so he went and bought some raisins and all, and he also talked with him for few minutes. And then Kabuliwala asked him, "Where is your little daughter? So please call your daughter." So he called his daughter, and she came there, but he did not go to Kabuliwala because she had a kind of fear in her mind. What is the fear? Is that Kabuliwala is an Afghan and he has a bag with him, right? And she always thinks that he picks up the children and keeps them in the bag. So his sack or bag is full of children. So that is a kind of strong fear in her mind. So father wanted to get rid of that fear, and he called, and the Kabuliwala also thought of giving her some raisins and nuts, but the child did not take them. She refused, and she still had some suspicion on that particular person, so she did not take anything, right? And after few days, what happened when father was going out? He was actually surprised. He was awestruck to see the girl Minnie was sitting with the Kabuliwala, and she was chatting. Kabuliwala was talking to her, and then he also saw some nuts and raisins in it was packed in the sari of this small little girl. So he asked Kabuliwala, "Why did you give all those things to Minnie?" And also said not to do that again. Okay, and also gave him half a rupee, that is 50 NP coin. And then he went off, and Kabuliwala, he, without any hesitation, without any second thought, he took that coin and kept in his bag. So that is what we have seen yesterday. So now we will continue from that particular lesson. So particular page. Right, so it's about 54 page number. You all come to 54 page number 54. Look into the book. On returning home, I found that a full-scale row had broken out over the coin. So when he came back to home, so there, he was really surprised to see the exact similar kind of coin in the house, where the Minnie, she was holding the coin in her hand. It was shining, okay, and also broken at some particular part. And Minnie's mother was there. And she was asking her, and she was a kind of angrily or a scolding tone, okay. So here, rebuking tone in the sense, a kind of, she was scolding the child. She was scolding Minnie, and she was asking her, "Where did you get the coin from?" She was asking out of anger, "Where did you get the coin? 50 pies is not a big, it's not a joke at that time. It was a very good amount." So she was very curious to know where the child has got this 50 NP. So she was shouting at the child. Minnie replied, "The Kabuliwala gave it to me." She said, "The Kabuliwala gave it to me." Her mother, much shocked, chided, "Why did you take it from him?" So her mother, she was really shocked, and now she scolded, "Why did you take the money from him? Why did you take the money from him?" And immediately the father saw that his wife was very angry, and then he wanted to save the child from her mother's anger. So immediately he went inside, and then he brought Minnie, and he started walking. Okay, he took her out for a walk. And now he started asking, why did you take the money from the Kabuliwala? Like, no, I was asking questions, and he was surprised to know that it is not the second time Minnie was meeting him. Now, it's not the second time Minnie was meeting Kabuliwala. I soon learned that this was not a second meeting with Rahmat, the Kabuliwala. So the name of Kabuliwala was Rahmat. Okay, he's from Afghanistan. So he had been visiting Minnie almost daily from that day. Almost daily he was visiting her, and every day he was offering her some nuts or some raisins or some apricots, and he already won the heart of the little child. That means she was actually very much afraid of Kabuliwala, but now she doesn't fear anymore. So she don't have any kind of fear in her mind about Kabuliwala. So she started she started treating him like a friend. The two friends. So how the friendship is built is, the two friends, that is Kabuliwala and Minnie, they had some jokes, and also they had some sentences where they regularly crack when they sit with each other, and they repeat it in their conversation. So whenever they whenever they talk with each other, when there is a conversation, they repeat those kind of words. Okay, for example, the moment my daughter saw Rahmat, so when Kabuliwala comes there, and when Minnie looks at him, she immediately, at that particular time, moment here is time. So she asks Kabuliwala, oh Kabuliwala, what is in your sack? She asks him, Kabuliwala, oh Kabuliwala, what is in your sack? What is in your sack? What are you carrying in your sack? And adding an unnecessary nasal tone, so he used to say it like that, and then he used to say, he used to roar, say tell with a loud voice, Hathi, right? He used to say Hathi. Hathi is nothing but a elephant. So he says that he's carrying a elephant in his bag. So both used to laugh like anything. They used to. It's not a joke at all. It's a normal words. There is no joke in that, but still they both used to laugh very much. Okay, because he used to say that he's carrying a elephant in his sack. Okay, so this, because she asked what is in the sack, he said Hathi, that is the elephant. So both of them used to laugh like anything. So this side, right now, there's a small innocent girl. Okay, there's a grown-up man who is Kabuliwala. So that really moved him very, very deeply. His father was moved. Right? He felt very happy. He felt very glad, and he used to sit with when Kabuliwala sat with the girl and cracked jokes, and they used to have a nice conversation. That situation really moved father very much. So like this, whenever these two they meet each other, there was a routine exchange between these two people. Okay, there was some kind of routine words, like someday she used to ask, what is in your sack, what is in your bag? He used to reply, there is Hathi in my bag. Someday when they used to meet, so with a kind of Afghani accent, he used to ask her, Missy, when are you going to your father-in-law's house? So he used to ask Missy, in the sense he's talking about Minnie, when are you going to your father-in-law's house? That is nothing but when are you going to get married, and then you'll go to your in-laws house. Bengali girls they were commonly familiar with this term in-laws. So especially when you're talking about the Bengali girls, and also they are familiar, they know very well who is father-in-law, they have to get married and they have to go to their house, and also that is very much from the very childhood they are taught those kind of things. But now the time has changed, right? But the time has become modern, right? So his father, Minnie's father and mother, they chose not to pollute the mind of child by telling all these things at a very tender age, but at a very, very delicate age, because she was only a child. They don't want to tell all these things to the child. So they don't want their daughter's mind with precocious thoughts. So that means she would know everything a bit early, okay, before she has to know at that particular age. So even before that she will know everything. So that is how they doesn't want her mind to get polluted with that. So at a very delicate age, thus Minnie, she could never understand the question of Kabuliwalah. He used to say, when are you going to your father-in-law's house? That means he asked you, his meaning is that when are you going to get married? When are you going to your father-in-law's house? So now, because she never knew what is this father-in-law, okay, and therefore she did not understand what actually Kabuliwala was talking. So then she would ask a question in written saying that, are you going there? So she used to ask him, are you going there? Okay. So it was a kind of common joke between Kabuliwala and also Minnie, because Kabuliwala, it was a common sense that whenever you tell about the father-in-law's house and all, they used to think that it is jail. They used to think that it is jail. So then Kabuliwala used to say that, making a fist with his hand like this, and he used to say, like, no, I'll punch my father-in-law. So here the father-in-law means policeman. I will punch the father-in-law. That is what he used to answer. So now father-in-law, Minnie used to think that it is an unknown creature. She is in an unfortunate situation. She doesn't know who is father-in-law, but still Kabuliwala is telling that he'll punch father-in-law. So she doesn't know what to do. She used to explode in laughter. She used to laugh. She used to burst into laughter. Minnie's mother, she was a very kind of timid person. She was a very, very timid person, not having the courage to face the things. So you can say periki, right? So she's a very timid kind of person. Even the slightest noise which comes in the street and all, no, she believes that there are some thieves, there are some robbers, there are some tigers, malaria, cockroaches. Okay, some European sailors are going to enter their house and invade their house, occupy their house. That is a kind of mindset she has. Who? Minnie's mother. She has that kind of mindset. So she was not free of suspicion. So this woman, she was not free of suspicion. That is, she used to doubt everybody. She used to doubt everybody, and especially she used to doubt Rahmat. She used to doubt, she used to nag, right? Every day she used to nag her husband. That is, always keep on telling that, come on, keep an eye on your daughter, and also that Kabuliwala. So you just watch them always, right? You always look at them. Because whenever I sought to make light of her suspicions, that means whenever this man used to make, he used to attempt, so whatever you're thinking is not right. So that Kabuliwala is a very good and nice fellow. So he used to attempt, he used to say answers like that. But this woman, his wife, used to always interrupt, and she used to pose some questions. That is, are there no such instance of child abduction? So are there no such cases? Okay, don't you see there are child abductions going on, that is, kidnap is going on without the knowledge of the child. Somebody is taking the child with them. So that kind of things are going on. And still there is a slave trade practice in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan still people are sold as slaves. That practice is still going on in Afghanistan. So is it altogether possible for a giant Kabuliwala? Here this Kabuliwala is really like a giant. So for this kind of giant, don't you know that, and he's an Afghan, and it's very much pretty easy to kidnap our child. Isn't that possible? And here father also, he had to agree, because that was not impossible, because we know nothing about people, isn't it? So now whatever is going on, mother was suspicious, mother was doubtful, but father was pretty happy what's actually going on. and he always tried to give some kind of reason that was improbable, because, and he used to say that it is not going to happen, it is not likely to happen, it will never happen, that Afghanistan man, like, the Kabuliwalah is a very good man, that Ahmed is a very good man, he will not kidnap our child. He used to tell that. However, everybody has their own kind of trust. Everybody will act according to their trust. So now she doesn't believe in him, she doesn't trust him, but father trusts him. So it's about everybody's problem. So wife always remains suspicious of the man, but father did not stop Rahmat from visiting their house. But father, was very generous. He always allowed the Kabuliwala, that is Rahmat, to come to his house and also spend time with his daughter, because he has not done any wrong. So that's why he could not ask him anything. Every year in January or February, Rahmat would go back to his home country to visit his family. So every year in the kind of January or February, Rahmat, he lives in Afghanistan. So he goes back to Afghanistan and visits his family. And before this, he was unusually busy. So before that, he was very unusually, he'll be very busy, because he'll be giving all the resins, apricots, nuts and everything to the people, and they will say that I'll give you money later. So I'll give you tomorrow, I'll give you after 10 days. So like this they'll be telling. So this man used to go to every house and collect the money. So what is the money he has to get from them? He used to collect the dues. And then, because he was in a very rush, because he has to go to his house. So even though he was very busy at that time also, he definitely used to come to his house and visit Minnie and talk to her. He used to take some time to talk with Minnie. And one morning, what happened? This man, father, was sitting in his room and was reading some proofs, right? So what are the novels he has written? He was checking whether there are any mistakes or not. As you write your examination, check the mistakes. No, he was writing a novel, so he is also checking the mistakes and all. So then he heard something, commotion in the street. So there was a noise in the street. There were some people shouting in the street. Okay, so now he was actually astonished. What kind of noise is this which is coming in the street and all? So there was some kind of disturbance, some kind of noise and all from the street. So he immediately went out to see what's actually happening. Looking out, this man, father, was shocked, because it was the Rahmat. You know what happened to him? He was in handcuffs. Somebody put handcuffs on his hands, like police will take the thieves by putting the handcuffs on their hands. Bedilu, right? That is a word. So, and also he was taken by two policemen, and the whole street and the children and all the people, they were going after them. And there were marks of blood on Rahmat's clothes. And the other thing is that there was blood on Rahmat's clothes, and also the policeman was carrying a knife in his hand which has blood on it. After this, he came out and he wanted to know actually what happened, why they are taking Rahmat like that. And he went to a policeman, he demanded, come on, why are you taking Rahmat like this? What happened? He demanded. What happened? That we'll see tomorrow. Okay guys, until then, see you all. Have a great day. Bye.